she like didn't know I was going to propose really, like especially at that time on that trip. Like she knew like, hey, we were talking about it kind of like maybe we were married. But she didn't know it was coming. So we go on this trip to Hardin. Yeah, so this started because, I studied finance in college and then I was working in financial roles. But during that time, it just didn't feel that right to me. And I was always listening to like travel podcasts and how to be a full-time traveler, how to be a digital nomad. So there seemed to be a couple avenues to go through there, whether that was affiliate marketing, being a YouTuber. But YouTube felt right for me because, as a kid, I was, actually always like making videos. So if we had a school project and one of the options was, hey, write a paper, make a video, yada, 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 I was always choosing to make the video. Like I enjoyed, making videos. So yeah, fast forward a few years, here until I came to Medellin. I met some, other YouTubers that were, actually, making money, making a full-time income from it. So it became more of a reality to me that, hey, I can do this too. Especially because at this point when I arrived here in Colombia, I had already traveled to like 25 other countries, give or take. So I was kind of regretting, I should have been making videos this whole time. I have so many interesting stories that I want to tell people. I've been to many interesting places I could have shown people. So I felt like the YouTube channel was very possible for me at that point because I had already kind of proven to myself that I was, doing those things that were kind of maybe interesting and people wanted to see, like traveling, around the world, which is like my passion, like what my life, like I wanted everything in my life to kind of be at this point, like, travel related and experiencing life, learning about, myself throughout the world, while I'm in my late 20s now. So I guess, yeah, starting YouTube channel here, our channel, I have it with my wife is Los Dos Vamos. Which means we both go. So, our intended, audience is like more so couples travel and also like interracial relationships. So like I'm an American man. She's a Colombian woman. We come from different cultures and sometimes, we love each other, but you might have, different, cultural things that, you kind of clash on. Maybe for like an American, like we're always like trying to go fast, work hard. Maybe we don't always like sit like and try to enjoy life as much as some other cultures, especially in Latin America. Life is very, very enjoyable down here. So this is an example. In terms of, starting the YouTube channel and the struggles with that, I think there's always like this a learning curve to, of course, make the videos, edit the videos. What are you going to say in the videos? What content should I be making for my videos? So that's like the first part is, actually making the content, and learning how to use whatever software you're going to be using, and just, making your brand essentially, in the early stages because you don't really have an identity as much in the early stages. In the early stages, you're trying to figure out, hey, who are we? What is our channel? You have an idea about it, but until you kind of like have been doing it for a while, I think you're kind of searching for your identity until you can finalize what that identity is when your channel is mature. Number two, most importantly is, they say like most YouTubers, I think you have to make around like 100 videos or something before, you can kind of become monetized. The actual rules are, like 1,000 watch hour, or I think it's 1,000 watch hours and 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So getting to that, level, in the first year is quite challenging. So yeah, the biggest struggle I think for like starting the channel is, making sure you have either like some savings tucked away in order to, live off of during that initial year or 2 years while you're trying to make the channel or just, you're doing this part-time. You have the time to make sure you can, hey, be a YouTuber, part-time, maybe work 20, 30 hours a week besides your, full-time job or whatever that may be in order to get up and running. So yeah, the hardest part is, I think mentally for a new YouTuber, is just knowing, hey, it's going to take this much time, this much effort before I can even, meet the threshold or even come close to starting to, monetize this. If that's what your goal is, maybe you just enjoy making videos, which is a lot of people, make videos just to do that. But, the goal for, our channel obviously is we want to be full-time travelers. We want to show people interesting places around the world, teach people about other cultures, like especially here, in Colombia. I think we can really do a good job of, showing other, people from other countries, how great of a place it is here. Because a lot of people have a misconception about Colombia that it's just like a super dangerous place. And it's a place you wouldn't want to visit. Like it's always on the U.S. The U.S. travel advisory. Don't come here. But we can go ahead and promote. Hey, no, Colombia is full of beautiful, interesting people. The culture is amazing. We can show the great side of the food and everything. Yeah. So. Yeah, we actually originally met like most people do on a dating app. So here, we met through Bumble. And the first date we went on, like it was really fun. We had a great time, but there wasn't like sparks or anything at that time, I was just like, oh, she's a really, like, really cool girl. She lived in New York before, so we can kind of like relate. She can kind of relate more to me than like a lot of the other, girls that haven't been, outside of the country here or haven't like been to my country, I guess basically. So then after that, like I just made sure she, had like a ride home. Like I made sure I took her home in the Uber and dropped her off. So she later told me that that's really what stuck out to her. For me was I was like making sure that she was getting home. It was like, nice gentleman thing to do. But no, the moment that really like, I was like, oh, I really want to be with this girl is, I was telling her about all my plans, all my dreams, what I wanted to do, and she was like very much like, yeah, like that sounds awesome. I want to be a part of that. And I really felt like her experiences and like her skills were really gonna fit with what I wanted to do. And yeah, and then we ended up going, it was my birthday a few months later, so I was like, hey, we come on this trip with me, go to Cartagena. It's a nice like, I guess like, it's at the tip of Colombia, like right connecting to Panama. So we went on that trip together, with my roommate and his friend as well. And the whole time we were just like enjoying each other's company so much and just like wanting to be together all the time. And ever since like that trip, which was, back in April, we've pretty much been together like every day unless I had to leave the country a few times, go back to America once. But that was it. We've pretty much been together every day and been living together, and just like, she's just such a great partner, for me, and we're just very supportive of each other. So the proposal is kind of funny. Like, there's this place called Jardín. It's about like 3-hour bus ride away from Medellin here. So like she like didn't know I was going to propose really, like especially at that time on that trip. Like she knew like, hey, we were talking about it kind of like maybe we were married. But she didn't know it was coming. So we go on this trip to Jardín, and there's not much information about this particular waterfall hike to do. So it's called Chorro Blanco. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna propose to her on this waterfall hike. I have my drone here. I'm gonna like put the drone out there to get a nice video of her like me and her during the proposal, so like she can show her family after and like my family after. So we end up doing the hike, and the hike itself actually took like, it was like through a bunch of mud. I thought it was like a normal, because I went to Jardín before and there was like a nice, very nice trail, all like made purposefully and like nice prim and proper. So I was expecting it to be like that, because this hike was this way on the trail, and the other hike that I was doing this time for Chorro Blanco was just going left on the trail. So that hike ended up being like a 3-hour hike through a bunch of mud. We ended up passing a dead cow that had like fallen off the mountain and was just laying there. It was like, oh my god, this is not turning out great. But we finally get to the waterfall. It's immaculate, like a 200-foot waterfall that like, I was like, oh, this is like a perfect spot, like what I pictured proposing. Like, the hike was kind of hard, but we made it here to this spot. So I get my drone ready to take the shot, or like the video of me proposing to her. And then all of a sudden, I guess like some water unfortunately got in the sensor. So the drone runs into the waterfall, like the side of the wall, destroyed. I was like, no. So I was like, okay, I gotta eat that one. So yeah, no, I was like, okay, just forget about it. I was like, turn around. And then like obviously like get on a knee and pull out the ring that I had, custom made for her. And I was like, hey, will you, will you do this life with me? Like, we've been talking about this now, and, our plans together are like really how I envision my life, and I want to be with you. And she was like, oh my God, I can't, she couldn't believe that that was where I was asking her, because usually you would ask at like a nice restaurant or something, but, just to make sure like the whole sense of adventure was there for our relationship, I wanted to do it in that way.